Early this morning, Matt and I have come down to the big garden to do some things. It is hot and humid in the mountains of southern Appalachia, as it is in much of the rest of the United States right now too. It is really, really hot, so we're trying to beat that heat. We've almost done everything that we wanted to do. We've been weeding in the beans and the okra, and Matt's done a little bit of tilling, and there's only a couple of things, really our main goals, that we wanted to come down here to do, just really 2 more things. One of them is just more weeding. With all the rain we've had, the weeds have just went crazy. The plants are doing really good, but so are the weeds. So there's a little bit more weeding we need to do in the winter squash. Matt actually worked a lot yesterday, and some of the weeds he just weed-eated down instead of in between the corn rows, the larger corn that we planted first. I'll show you in just a minute. They've got big enough now that they really don't need much attention, almost at that lay-by time for them. We still need to do some work for the second planting of corn, but the big ones it's just simpler just to go through and beat the weeds down, but leave them where they're at. Anyway, we got to weed the winter squash just directly around the actual squash. Matt took care of the rest of it. And then the most exciting thing is we're going to harvest beans. Our first beans of the season are going to be, I just knew they'd be up at our house, but they're going to be down here in the big garden. It's the peanut beans, the bush bean that we planted. So what we want to do is we're going to give those first beans to Granny. We're going to surprise her. So I know that she will be really pleased, and I hope we get enough for a mess. Recently, a lot of people have asked me, well, how much is a mess? For us, a mess is just enough for a meal. Now, you might be like Granny, and she's just cooking for her, and probably Paul would eat some, so just 2 people. And you might say, I made a mess of beans this morning, or I'm going to cook up a mess of beans, or I picked a mess of beans this morning. But I might say that too, knowing that I'm going to feed Matt and Katie and Ira and Corey and Woodrow and Austin all. My mess would just be bigger than Granny's. So that's the way I look at that word. But you hear that often in the mountains of Appalachia, talking about a mess. I'm going to cook up a mess of beans, or I picked a mess of beans. Or years ago, Granny might tell me when I come in from work and stopped at her house, Tipper, I picked you a mess of beans. Here they are. And she'd give them to me in a paper poke, you know, like the grocery stores used to have. So that's a word that recently people have asked me about. But once we get, Matt's standing over in the shade, once we get the beans picked and the winter squash weeded, we'll be ready to head back home. You can see our row of peanut beans right through here. It's a very common bean in our area, and it's a bush bean. People eat the pod and the bean, eat them like fresh green beans, or can them for green beans in the winter. I've heard them called red beans in other areas because the bean, actual little bean, does have a tendency to be red, be a darker color. The ones on this end are really healthy and beautiful looking. As the row goes out through there, they kind of peter out and look a little bit more puny. We had to replant those at the other end because of the rain washed out some of the seeds. So they're up, they're just not as lush and beautiful as these are, but hopefully as the summer goes on, they will be. Matt started at that other end, so I'll start right here picking them. Bush beans are great to grow because they don't take up as much room, thinking about having to have a trellis for them to grow on. But then the painful part of bush beans is you got to bend over, get down on your knees or whatever to actually pick them. So some people in our area that grow peanut beans, they will let them produce as much as they're going to and get real full, and then they just pull the whole plant up and go over, you know, sit in the shade or sit on the carport or on the porch or something, and then pick the beans off that way. We usually leave them because you see how many I just got off, and then you can see there's a little one and there's all kinds of blooms. So they will keep producing for a good while. It's just some people do it different than others, and I can see the advantage of that because then you don't have to bend over. 3 days. So we ended up with definitely enough for a mess of beans. You can see that's probably 2 messes for Granny, so I know she's going to be so excited. And they're pretty beans, ain't they, Matt?
Yeah.
They're really pretty beans. Really pretty. Huh?
I like
Oh.
beans.
Yeah, Matt loves, he's the reason we planted the peanut beans. And Granny loves them too, so she's gonna be excited, I know. Here's a good view of our corn. You can definitely see the taller, which is getting some of them about as tall as I am. And then the smaller, the second plant right here. Matt was afraid that the first would catch the second, and it looks like it's trying to, doesn't it, Matt? So it may do it, and if so, we might not do that again. But I know Farmer Tim down the road, though, has really good luck. You can just see his are like stair steps, the different rows he has, and his corn is already tasseling the first set of corn.
I think he's a little better farmer than we are.
I think he's a better farmer than we are, too. Yeah. So, but it looks good. Looks really good. Just be even more beautiful when it has those wonderful roasting ears on it. And
Yeah.
you can I can say, Matt, you want corn for supper? Go to the garden.
Yeah.
And just come straight up to the house, shuck it, and put it in a pot of boiling water and feast. Feast. Granny and Pap loved corn so much. Me and Matt do too. And Matt will do this. I can't eat really but 1 ear of corn, 2 at the most if I'm eating. But you remember what Daddy would do? He'd just get a pile.
He'd eat about 10 ears
About
at a time.
10 ears at a time. He just loved it. And I swear Granny could do that too. She can't these days. She don't eat as much. But it is really, really good. Feels a lot cooler over here, don't it?
Well, ain't we working over here?
I know. The sun hadn't got in this part of the garden yet, and it feels tremendously cooler. I guess the creek helps.
Of course, up there where we're going, it's sunny.
Yeah, up there where we're going, it's sunny. We got the creek so opened up now. Matt cut down those trees and kept it trimmed down nice. You can just walk down there and put your feet in it or put your hands in it. Matt puts his bandana in it and then puts it back on his neck. It's just a little creek, but I love it. It's our creek. Really rewarding to know that Ira plays in it now. Woodrow will, and he's been in it a little bit, but he's not hardly steady on his feet yet. But that Ira plays in it, that his mother played in it, that I played in it, and Pat played in it. To lots of people that wouldn't mean nothing, and I understand that, and to each his own, but for me, that just makes my heart sing. It makes me so happy. Trivial in the scheme of life, I know, but something really valuable in it, at least for me. This is our little patch of winter squash. Some of them look really good. Some of them are really small because we had to replant them. Matt took care of the major weeds all around them, just weed eated them down, but we're going to have to get in there close and get the ones that's growing right up on them.
This has been eaten on them.
Uh-oh, something been eating it? Is it a pesky deer?
Yep. It's got to help it.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said, yeah, it'll help it. The laurels have about finished blooming. You can see where they've dropped all their petals there. Looks almost like a little skip of snow down by the creek.
Put your eyes out right here.
Yeah,
Bring
well,
you a fresh mess of beans.
Oh,
This now picked.
and these white ice runners.
No, it's peanut beans.
Oh, peanut beans.
Yeah.
Well, you need to keep some of these
Nah.
just to cook.
We got plenty of growing up yonder. We planted them down to big garden so you'd have some.
I love peanut beans.
It'd be
When I
enough
was
for-
little, that's the only kind I'd eat. It's probably the only kind we had.
I like them awful well myself.
Yeah, I do too.
It'd be enough for mess supper anyway.
And you know, you can plant them, and they come in real early, and then you can pull them up and plant something in the place, in its place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
they look like pretty beans, don't you think?
Yeah. I may just sit out here and start in on them so I can cook me a mess.
Yeah.
I've got to go to the dentist today,
Mm-hmm.
and my jaw will be sore. But that's what I like to do. As soon as I get beans, I like to break them up. Then when I get a chance to cook them.
Yeah.
Now Ben's got peaches,
Yeah.
and he said he'd give us some.
Oh, that'd be good.
We may have to go down there and get some. He gave me a few, and they wasn't real ripe, and I left them sitting out.
You might want to go back in. It's awful hot out here to break them up. I don't want you to get overheated.
Well, I've sat out here a few minutes because they say the sunshine is really good for you.
Yeah.
My friend that goes Tony, she said, you don't have to get in the sun to get a suntan, so just the sunshine. You sit in the sunshine for like 15 minutes a day, and it helps your body.
Yeah. It does.
I was going to ask you, was there any way you could fix that well where we could run a water hose from it without taking the lid off? Paul's is fixed like a spigot in his yard.
Yeah, you could do that. You'd put a lawn hydrant out from under the thing, and then it'd just be out there all the time, and it won't freeze because water comes out of it. Once you turn it off, the water drains out of it. So yeah, we could do that.
You still have to cover the outer part.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, we could do that.
yeah.
Need to do one to our house too. We've not been threatening to for years and ain't never done it, but
Jerry, he wanted to plant this hillside in apple trees, and I wouldn't let him. I told him that'd be too much work.
yeah.
Now I wish I had.
Yeah.
But
Well, you've got you two up there. You started it now.
yeah, start on them. Yeah. You know, Ben planted one of them apple trees at his house, and the other one was already there. And that one year it had so many apples it broke the limbs.
You mean peaches or
Peaches.
Peaches, yeah.
Peaches. He's not got no apple
yeah,
trees.
peaches?
But
Well, you tickled with your beans?
oh yeah, and it's a good day to be thankful. A wonderful world that we live in.
Be good with some side meat and fried taters, wouldn't it?
You know, I bought me some, that pepper, they call it, Betty Jean and them called it pepper steak.
Yeah.
Down there at the food stand. Have you had any of that?
Yeah, I have.
I was thinking I might cook it, and then I'd use the grease off of it to make me some lettuce and
Oh yeah.
onions chopped up together.
Yeah.
When he was growing up, I had to do that Clifton work, and I didn't do as much cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, he'd have to eat cereal for breakfast, and Tipper and Steve had already been gone to school.
Yeah.
But then Steve would come home. He worked half a day. He went to school half a day, and then he worked half a day.
Mm-hmm.
And when he'd come home half a day, I'd make me and him a hamburger. Then Jerry would come home in the evening, and I'd have to have him some supper.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm dreading going to the dentist, but I don't think it'll be too bad. See, I've got root canals on all my teeth, but that one on the right, and it's starting to decay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think it'll take much to fix it.
Yeah.
But I told that Ketron last time I was up there, see, he made my partial teeth, and they fit real good. And I told him, I said, I'm just getting awful old. He said, you're not old. Said, most of my patients are not in their 90s.
You're a spring chicken compared to that, huh?
Now, Betty Jean is 90, and Marie is 92.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I was little, this is the only kind of green beans I would eat.
It's peanut beans?
Peanut beans. I love them. And when I was little, I wouldn't eat a whole egg. I would just eat the yolk. Mama would fry me an egg, and I'd just eat the yolk. I wouldn't eat none of the white.
Yeah.
You was picky, huh?
Picky, yeah. Picky about what I eat. Yeah. I was Mama's little problem child. Yeah.
Well, we hope you enjoy the green beans.
Well, thank you, but I think you should take some of them.
No, we're going to give them all to you. There'll be more, and we've got little ones on ours, too, that'll be, before we know it, another day or two, we'll need to pick them, so you keep them.
Oh. We need to do something for Betty Jean. She's been so good to us. She said if we found anybody that had a lot of big cucumbers.
Yeah, she likes to make her cucumber relish.
Make that relish.
Well, if we have some, we'll save them for her. She likes to make a relish, yeah.
Yeah.
Will you let me help you get back in?
Yeah, you can carry these beans in for me, and I'll sit and break me up a mess.
So nice to drive the tractor under the shed, isn't it?
It is.
Very nice. Matt's still got work to do, but it's nice to know the tractor's in the dry.
It is. I like it.
Very nice. And very nice to see Granny so happy. She's so excited about those beans. I knew she would be. Matt did too. So I'm glad you thought of planting the peanut beans down there for Granny.
Yeah, I know she liked them.
We were looking at her little garden, and she's got beans there too that she's just not realized is out there, or that she would already been out there picking them. So, and her tomatoes look really good.
Mm-hmm.
They look the best they've looked in years. I don't know why, but they do. And the cucumbers I planted are about that big, but hopefully they'll continue to grow. They're just like a bush cucumber. What else? Her lima beans they've got lots of blooms, but no beans yet. So anyway, Granny said, "You made my day." I said, I knew that we would.
Yep.
So I'm glad we got all that out of the way, and now we can go in.
Yep, it's getting hot.
Getting hot. We're always glad when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia.